Hello, welcome back to the Breaking News Update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got a breaking news report coming out for Ukraine, and I've got some information today that Russia's military is allegedly claiming to have advanced into the Sumy Oblast of Ukraine and taken over a key settlement. We also have information that Ukraine's military is coming out today also and refuting that claim. So take a look at your screen here. Russia claims capture of key settlement of Yunikivka in Sumy region, Ukraine. Claims that Russian troops have entered the village of Yunikivka in Ukraine's northeastern Sumy Oblast are false. Ukraine's public broadcaster Suspilne reported on May 24th. This was citing sources out of Ukraine's military. Okay, so if you take a look at this map here and you see that red shaded area on the top of the map, that's actually Ukrainian territory. So allegedly the Russians are controlling 4 settlements in the northern portion of the Sumy Oblast right now. And just on the southern side or the bottom side of that picture in that kind of green shaded area, you can see a larger sized town kind of in the middle of that green shaded area. That is Yunikivka. And allegedly this is a major transport hub for Ukrainian troops to enter into the Kursk Oblast. Okay, so Sumy and Kursk border each other. And this is very big news because just today, this map actually came out from Deep State. Deep State is an open source intelligence service that has maps that they put out online to help people follow this war. And allegedly, they just updated this map today showing that the Russians control these 4 settlements you can see on your screen up here in that red shaded area. So this is very interesting news coming out today. We're going to talk about what the Russians are saying, what the Ukrainians are saying, and then I'm going to show you guys some more maps and information regarding this because we've been hearing that the Russians were going to be setting up a like a buffer zone along their border in these regions, especially in the Kharkiv and Sumy regions, just over the border in their territory in the Kursk and what would be that the Belgorod region. These territories, they were going to be setting up some sort of buffer zone, and we know what that means, that they're going to be attacking the Sumy and Kharkiv regions. And also, just earlier today, I gave you guys information that the Russians reportedly have 50,000 troops built up just over the border of the Kharkiv region. So we're going to see massive fighting taking place over here on the border with Ukraine and Russia in the Sumy and Kharkiv Oblast. So let's jump into this, guys. Let's hop on over here real quick with TASS news agency out of Russia. It says Russian army enters Yunikivka in Ukraine's Sumy region, according to a military expert. See the date today, May 23rd, 2025. This is according to Andrei Marachko. It served as a logistics hub for moving Ukrainian militants to the Kursk region. Now it says here, Russian forces have entered Yunikivka in Ukraine's Sumy region from where Kiev used to move troops to the bordering Russian region of Kursk, military expert Andrei Marachko told TASS. According to information at my disposal, our troops have already entered the locality of Yunikivka, which served as a logistics hub for moving Ukrainian militants to the Kursk region, he said. On April 19th, Marachko told TASS that Russian servicemen have expanded their fire control over a motor road between Yunikivka and Oleshnya that Kiev used for sending supplies to the Ukrainian battle group at this sector of the front line. So yeah, apparently there's a major road that runs right through Yunikivka, and then soon after that, that's when you hit the border of the Kursk region inside of Russia. So that's what the Russians are stating today. Now let's see what Ukraine is stating as well. So we're going to hop on over here to a Ukrainian news outlet called Ukrainska Pravda 25. Sumy authorities refute claims that Russians have captured Yunikivka. You can see the dates here, May 24, 2025. Claims circulated by pro-Kremlin media on May 24th that Russian forces have captured the village of Yunikivka in Sumy Oblast have been dismissed as untrue by Ukrainian authorities. The source was Ole Huryov, if I'm saying that right, head of the Sumy Oblast military administration. And a quote from him stated, quote, I am in constant communication with the military. I understand the line of contact and I have information about the enemy's possible advance. Claims about the capture of Yunikivka are not true. Yunikivka is controlled by Ukraine. And it says the details here. Uryov said the armed forces of Ukraine and all components of Ukraine's defense forces are holding the line and successfully repelling Russian attacks. Nevertheless, the situation in the Romanas bordering Russia remains tense. Russian troops continue to drop guided aerial bombs and attack the Yunikivka Romana with drones. 2 civilians were recently killed in one of the strikes. A Romana is an administrative unit designating a village, several villages, or a town and their adjacent territories. Ruryov said that Russians are also attempting to enter the oblast with small assault groups from the Khotin and Yunikivka Romadas, but the Ukrainian military is destroying them on the outskirts, preventing them from advancing deeper into the region. Uryov has urged local residents to trust only official sources of information and promised to keep them updated on any changes in the security situation. Okay, so if you notice here, he says preventing them from advancing deeper into the region. So that means that the Russians are inside the Sumy Oblast. And forgive me, guys, I had no idea all this time that the Russians were actually inside the Sumy Oblast. I mean, if they have been there for months or whatnot, it hasn't really been widely reported. And again, today, that's when Deep State was coming out with this map here and updating this to let us know that the Russians are reportedly controlling some settlements over here and also trying to attack Yunikivka. So I'll show you some maps and some information over here on X so you can kind of get a better idea of what's going on over here. So from Ukraine frontline and Sumy region, over 62 square kilometers are under Russian control, but Yunikivka is not seized. According to updated Deep State data, Russian troops hold 62.6 square kilometers of border territories. These include the villages of Zurovka, part of the Veselivka and the Khotin community, as well as the Novenke and Basivka of the Yunikivka community. In the directions of Vodolog, Bilovodiv, and Lokhny, the enemy is trying to advance further. So here's another map to kind of show you guys. So this is where Yunikivka is here. So you can see there's a major road here that leads into the Kursk region. This would be the border right here of Ukraine, right? So allegedly the Russians are claiming they've advanced from this section all the way down over here, probably even taken Lokhny, and then hitting Yunikivka, and that's where they're claiming they've reached already. And then Sumy is really not that far away. It's literally right over here, the major city of Sumy. But Ukraine is claiming that the Russians have not taken over this key settlement right here. And this is a major pit stop before Ukrainian soldiers start entering over into the Kursk region, where starting last year in August, that's where we had this major offensive taking place in the Kursk Oblast. So nonetheless, today, from what we understand, the Russian forces are controlling at least 4 smaller settlements here on the border with the Sumy Oblast and Kursk Oblast of Russia over here. Okay, so here's some more information now from Leonid Rogozin. Deep State has finally marked the territory occupied by the Russians in the Sumy region in red. This territory has been under Russian control for quite some time, according to other Ukrainian and Russian war monitors. The Russians claim they are already in Lokhny and Yunikivka. This particular occupation is the echo of Ukraine's costly fiasco in the Kursk region. Putin has announced, not for the first time, though, that Russia will build a buffer zone in northern Ukraine. Ukrainian officials claim 70,000 Russian troops are currently deployed at the border waiting for orders. So, yeah, like I said, guys, Sumy and Kharkiv Oblast about to be heavily attacked. And according to Deep State today, updating this map showing that the Russians are already inside of the Sumy Oblast. And this is something that I've been warning you guys that this major attack is coming. This is all part of the summer campaign offensive and also part of this buffer zone that Russia is starting to implement right now. And here's a good map to show you guys regarding this buffer zone. So from New Rules Geopolitics, Russia's anticipated summer offensive will likely focus on creating a 100-kilometer buffer zone in Ukraine's Sumy, Chernigov, and Kharkov regions. This will make it impossible for Ukraine to continue shelling border regions. This further limits Ukraine's options. So here's a map to kind of show you guys what Russia might be trying to do in regards to this buffer zone. So it says a buffer zone will be created in the border area. The operation to create it is already undergoing. So if you look at this red area, this red shaded area is inside of Ukrainian territory. So the Russians, if they do want some sort of buffer zone, it makes sense. They're going to want to try to create one inside of Ukraine, not in their own territory. They want this created inside the Kharkiv, Sumy, and Cherniv regions. So that way Ukraine can no longer attack inside of their territory, because it's hard for them to do that down here in the south and southeastern areas of the front line. But this is, where we saw this happen recently was here in the Kursk region. So Russia wants to create this buffer zone so that way Ukraine can't be shelling any of these territories anymore and attacking it repeatedly with HIMARS and whatnot, or artillery or anything, and also to prevent any further incursions. So the Russians right now, we know for sure in the Kursk region and Belgorod regions, they are heavily built up with forces. We're talking 50,000 or more in each region of Kursk and Belgorod, preparing for massive offensives to push into, for sure, the Sumy, Kharkiv regions, possibly even Cherniv, but we haven't heard too many reports up here just yet of any activity in the Bryansk region. So I just want to give you guys information, let you know what's going on here, what updated information I found out today, and let you know what's happening here in the Sumy region, especially because it's something we have been discussing a lot this week, and we're expecting a major attack in the Sumy and Kharkiv region. So let me know what you guys think about these details down below in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.